Hey, Professor, I hope you're having a great week. This is going to be our journal entry for weeks numbers 3 and 4. So far, my group partners, Jalen and Dallas, have been absolutely fantastic. I feel like we're working in really good flow. We're finding that we don't need to meet up as much as I originally thought we would, but our work is all getting done. Everyone's doing what they're supposed to do, so everything's great from a team perspective, 10 out of 10s across the board. In terms of information, Jalen took the bulk of the background information, talking about how we need to explore different target markets with new products and service ideas with align with the company's values. So what we kind of decided on was due to its location in Miami, it's a massive place for colleges, so that was the first big point, and then tourist was the second big point, is it's a massive tourist destination. So first, let's talk about college students. If we can find a way to offer college students some sort of work study or credit hours or community service hours, something in turn, or maybe even getting along with fraternities and getting their credit hours because they're usually nonprofit organizations as well. So getting some way to get that community involved with our bike shop will be absolutely massive, especially if we can do it in turn for job experience instead of money. So really any cash alternative would be massive for us. On the other hand, tourists, as we were talking about before, would be a fantastic addition. As we know, it's a massive tourist destination, and people are always looking away for ways to get to point A to point B, and biking is obviously would be the cheapest and easiest option for tourists visiting the city instead of buying a car, dealing with traffic, having to rent it with all the expenses. There's a lot of stuff that you have to go through. Moving along, I focused on the research objectives. And when I was thinking about like what questions to ask, I was really trying to think what would bring value. Like how can we take this information, not just ask questions to ask questions, but how can we ask questions of value that can really like give us benefit and we can take that information and put it into work and put it into action. So first, we obviously want to see if people are interested in other things than bikes, or maybe scooters and skating and other modes of transportations outside of just strictly bikes. I believe that a big part of our marketing and advertising comes down to understanding where your customer base right now is learning about your company. So we need to find out where our current people are learning about our company, focus our efforts on those areas in order to see equitable return in our ROI. We'd also like to figure out if distance and location was not a factor, what would be stopping someone from purchasing our bike? I think we really need to understand our pain points of our customers and what they really need and want from this experience and what is stopping them currently from buying with us. And lastly, as I spoke about before, understanding if this is something that tourists would be interested in. Would they be interested in biking to the beach per se instead of taking out Uber or Lyft? And lastly, Dallas focused on the research methodology. So we're taking two kind of major approaches to our research. The first, interviewing college students, or not sorry, interviewing, but giving questionnaires to college students. And we're first going to back that up with information that we're able to find from previous studies. Then the second part, we'll be doing in-person interviews at popular tourist locations. So whether that's going down to South Beach or one of the other many tourist locations in the area, just to see if the day-to-day tourist would be interested in this type of service. In terms of what I thought was really interesting that I learned was this article that you had for us, which was the nature of quantitative observations. This kind of goes into the best methods for like quantitative research and, going through like surveys, interviews, and also goes into like what the differences between quantitative and qualitative research is. And I didn't know so much about that, and just learning the differences and then applying them to our project and how we'll be able to use those things for our project